big. You gotta swing fast, swing hard and commit. You might miss 10 times, but when you hit, just make sure that you get all of it, okay? People at the top took risks. Investing and testing is all that they did. It's not complicated, it just takes grit. So never give up, take a swing at it.
And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen. Anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen. Anyone who did anything took a big swing.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 66. You guys know what that means. So I'm here with my guys, Nikki Steeds, Coach Ed, and what is up, guys? We got a good show for you guys today.
Three more shows.
There you go, Coach. There you go. How you doing, Nikki?
Great.
There you go. There you go. What is up?
Yo, what's up, everyone? It's the coach. It's Coach Ed, the sexiest fat man that you guys will ever know, here to get into the talk, basketball talk. Let's go.
Alrighty then. What is up, Wesley? How's it going? Tony, what is up, man? What is up? Let's just get this started, as Coach said. So, they announced a Hall of Fame class for the 2024, and I like this class. You got Chauncey Billups, Michael Cooper, Simone Augustus, Jerry West, Herb Simon, Doug Collins, Bo Ryan, there we go, Walter Davis, Charles Smith, Dick Barnett, Harley Rain, Michelle Thomas, and Vince Carter. They didn't put Vince Carter on here. Which, how do you feel about this one, Coach?
I'm very interested. Chauncey Billups is one who, most people always said he's not a superstar. I know people who've always said they don't consider him a top level, Hall of Famer in a sense. And I'm like, yes, he is. He's definitely one that, you should be respected. Now, Michael Cooper, that goes back to my days when I first became a basketball fan in the 70s, and I was a Lakers fan. And here was the little skinny guy just flying with Magic Johnson, and Magic giving those lookaways, and he's going in for those dunks. Now, my question to you in terms of Charles Smith, because what Charles Smith are we talking about? Because please don't tell me it's the Charles Smith who was playing on the Knicks.
I think it is that one, isn't it?
Oh, my Lord. If that's who it is, oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. As a Knicks fan, nah, man. Nah. You as Knicks fans, we think about him getting his damn shot blocked when he had the opportunity to just go up and slam it, with full force, man. I don't know. So going to Simone Augustus, her days at LSU, then going into the W, man, that girl was straight up fire, man. Seriously, she's definitely a legend, and they all are well deserved. I mean, Dick Barnett, what can I say? As a Knicks fan, I thought he probably, and I know most people didn't see him, but I studied him, and I thought he should have been in the Hall a long time ago. But hey, at least we're getting him in now. So, it's well respected. And Vince Sanity, like you said, man, what can you say? He put Toronto on the map.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not just Toronto, he helped re-elevate New Jersey, because New Jersey did take a little spin downwards, or they were starting that way. But then when he got traded to the Nets, man, I mean, the things that he was doing with the Nets with Jay Kidd, I mean, it's just, I mean, they're all well deserved. I could sit here and go for days. I'm sorry,
In
go
terms
ahead.
of relevancy, he helped bring the Nets back, but they went to like, what were they, a second round elimination or a first round elimination?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he brought them back to relevancy, made them more exciting, but didn't get them. But it's kind of considered disappointing because they didn't get back to championship for him because that was the initial expectation.
Exactly. So
for me, I like this one. I do. It's just, did McGrady get in yet? No, he didn't get in.
mm-mm.
No, I don't think he will. Maybe he will. Who knows? But
And Jerry West, that's a good one because he as a player's already in, but now as an executive, he was there during the Pat Riley years in the 80s. Wait, what? And he pulled off the trade, remember, for Kobe with the Hornets, where he gave the Hornets Divac.
Yeah. I think this is his third time getting inducted. I think.
Yeah, the logo. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
And Cooper, he's kind of an interesting one because he's a bit of a forgotten player on those Lakers teams with Magic, but
that's debatable.
To the average fan, yeah, you're right. No, to the average fan, yeah, he is one that most fans don't think about. But if you really follow the Lakers and you know their history, you know how important and impactful he was to the Lakers. Not just, running with Magic, but his three-point shooting. And then on the defensive end, he was the one that guarded the opposition's best wing or guard player. So, but yeah, if you followed the Lakers back then, Cooper, Michael Thompson, Superman, Kurt Rambis. I mean, Norm Nixon back in the day before he got traded. What's his name? What's his name? Who was the Nets head coach too? Damn, why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forget his name, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was actually traded for Norm Nixon. Like, these guys, yeah, Jerry West and Cooper. To me, they epitomize the Laker culture.
Yep. Yeah, and Doug Collins, he was a terrible coach for the Sixers. He was a good player, but he was not good for the Sixers. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, they haven't really had a good coach in a long time.
Yeah, no better than me.
Like now we Larry Brown.
Now we do. 4 more shows to 70. What are you talking about, Ed?
Well, if we're counting this one, yes, it's 4. But if we're not, since this one started, 67, 68, 69.
Yeah,
that's 3.
Man, your Lakers are the Lakers are not looking good right now. They are not looking good. Yeah. So, Bo Ryan, Devin Harris's college coach. Really, I never knew that.
Yeah, Devin Harris was he was at Wisconsin. That's right.
Oh wow, you learn something new every day. Thank you, thank you for that. All right, so Hall of Fame class. Can't wait for the inductions. I'm going to be watching it, maybe live streaming it. Who knows? But with the next thing, it got all of us up in the air with Bronny James declaring for the NBA draft, and he's still in the transfer portal. So for me, I'm just like, okay, he's not going to get drafted. Maybe, oh my God, Coach, really? Maybe in the second round, late, if the Lakers just want to grab him. But I think he's staying in the transfer portal. Coach, how do you feel about Bronny declaring for the draft?
Staying in the transfer portal, and I was told that LeBron's best friend is the head coach at Duquesne, so he might end up there. So I'm like, okay. He needs to stay in college, though. He really does. Does he need to step down a level from going to from a Power 5 to a mid-major? That might be good, but in the end, when it comes to basketball, if you can play, you can play. It doesn't matter the level. So,
well, I didn't even know that his best friend is the head coach at Duquesne. That makes sense why his other brother wants to go to Duquesne. That makes sense now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 2 things I learned today. So, how do you feel about Bronny James, Nikki?
I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this guy because he's declaring for the transfer. Put himself in the portal, now declaring eligible for the NBA draft.
Mhm.
Like, which one is it? You can
Well-
only pick one at this point.
No, what happens in college, you can put in your name in the transfer portal and declare for the NBA, but you're trying to get a feel of where you possibly can go. Now, if you feel that you're going to be drafted, in the first round, get your guaranteed money, then more than likely you'll stay in the draft. But they have a certain point in time that they have to declare eventually if they're going pro or if they're staying in college. But right now, he can do both to try and get a feel of where he's going to be in the NBA, what teams are, or what the feeling is for him in the NBA. And I think what he's going to see is he might be a late second round. He might not even get drafted. So then again, they might end up saying, well, if that's the case, then we'll go ahead and take our name out of going to the NBA and stay in the transfer portal and find a school.
Hey, if that happens, I
That's
just want to see
probably
him
what's
play
going to
ball.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, at this point for the NBA, I don't feel he's not ready for the NBA yet. So if
No.
you're looking at him from executive standpoint, I don't see yourself thinking, okay, we're ready to bring him in. He's our next guy. I don't see that with him after this year.
Well, it depends on if they're trying to get his dad. Because if somebody thinks that they can convince his dad to come over, because his dad, after this year, technically is a free agent. I think he has a player option if it's 2 years. I think he has a player option. I mean, I'm not sure about his contract, but someone might think, okay, well, that's what I want to do. Because LeBron wants to play with his dad, so draft his son, and then you can convince LeBron to come over to your team. So.
So this is what Sam said on his podcast, Running Back FDTV. When I
Mhm.
talk to NBA teams, there's a clear consensus that he's as a defender, he's already at that caliber of an NBA defender. That's hot. That's very hot take right there.
Yeah, but is he a defender? But what about his offense? Because if he's just a defender, you might be able to sign him, as a free agent. You don't have to draft him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and for the NBA, you got to score offense. They don't bring you in just to be a decent defender, but no offense like Kwame Brown. See how that worked.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good 3-point shooter. I'll give him that. But other than that, it's nothing.
So he's not a playmaker or anything of that nature. He's just really a 3-and-D.
He can play 3-and-D. His playmaking needs a bit more work from what I have seen. But it's mostly, yeah. LeBron is ruining his career. I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
I don't think so at all.
No.
How can you say that? Because he's keep on saying time and time again that he's his own man. LeBron is just letting him do what makes him feel happy. So LeBron is giving him whatever. He's not ruining his career. Maybe the fact that he has such high standards that he cannot achieve, if you want to talk about that, then yes. But I really doubt it. I really, really doubt it. Double point in the game. I don't care about this. Really? But do you guys think LeBron James is ruining his career? I don't think so.
No.
Not one bit.
No, not realistically. Now, if you want to say possibly a perception, the perception from people, but the reality is, do I think it's going to hurt his career with LeBron James? No. Probably helps more than it will hurt. Oh, dagnabbit, let me take this.
Certainly make him more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
All that publicity behind father and son on the same team. Because the media would run with it. They're thinking, oh, snap, we have something we haven't seen before. Let's cover it.
They're going to, no matter what. And got a question for you, Coach, from Earl. Will the Knicks clinch a playoff spot?
If Miami loses today, the Knicks clinch a playoff spot. So the Knicks will clinch a playoff spot one day this week. Will it be against the Celtics? I don't know. Depends on if the Celtics play at full strength. But I believe they're going to get to the point within the next game or two that they're going to clinch a spot. Now, if Miami loses, at minimum they're going to be in the they clinch basically a playoff spot, so they'll be at least a 6. Where they're going to be from there, that's still to be determined. So, and a lot of it honestly depends on Milwaukee and Orlando, because those two play each other twice to close out the season, and the Knicks are a game behind Milwaukee and a game in front of Orlando. Orlando holds the head-to-head to the Knicks, so that's why it's a little bit tricky. As long as the Knicks win, if the Knicks win out and the Bucks lose at least one game, I think they're in the same position. I think you look at the head-to-head from there. So I have to see that.
And as for the Sixers, we need the Bucks to win both of those games so Orlando can drop, and then that way we could move up if we win out. We got Orlando, then we got Brooklyn next Sunday. So we need Milwaukee to beat Orlando in the next 2 whenever they play them.
Both games or one of them?
I think it's both. We need Bucks to win both, and now Giannis is not going to play for the rest of the season, it looks like, after the scare he had yesterday. So
that don't help our clause.
What was that, Nicky?
That don't help your clause.
No.
But it might help the Knicks.
It will help the Knicks, yeah, but Damian Lillard has to go off now. And I'm still mad that they got rid of Drew Holiday for Dame, because defensively they missed Drew like so much.
Yeah, we all know that, but back then they were, under the perception that, if you got Dame Lillard, it would elevate your game, as opposed, you fire your rookie head coach who actually was doing very well, and you bring in Doc Rivers, who, it's not. Yes, he has the name cachet, but other than that, what else does he bring? I mean, how they've been barely 500 since he's been the head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're negative 500 with Glenn Rivers.
See, there you go.
Of course.
What's up, Rios?
That's what you get.
Come on, guys.
What is up, Rios? We were just talking about how Bronny James has declared for the NBA draft and is still in the transfer portal. Your thoughts?
Well, I think Coach brought up a good point in the group chat a couple weeks ago. Kind of keeps his options open a little bit. Just in case. I mean, he's probably not getting drafted, so at least if he doesn't get drafted, he can at least transfer to another school. But I mean, from what I've been reading, his dad wants him to go to like a bigger name school. I'm like, you could make it a USC. I don't see you cracking the starting lineup at like a much bigger program.
Yeah, I mean, he's at a Power 5 now. So now, if you're talking about blue blood, Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, that's up to debate. UConn, I don't think he gets in. And even if he did go to those schools, I don't think he gets playing time.
Yeah, getting won't be the problem. Getting playing time, don't be doing what he did at USC, right on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Coach brought up a good point before you got on that LeBron James' best friend is the head coach of Duquesne.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Bronny goes there, then his brother goes there. So I can honestly see that.
What's up, Chad?
Yeah, what is up, Chad? And Earl asks, what can the Knicks do to stay in the hunt?
Just continue what they're doing right now. Keep playing the way they're playing. Make it hard. Just like, there are some people that do not want to face the Sixers early in the playoffs. There's teams that don't want to face the Knicks. The Knicks are a gritty, you may sit there and question whether JB is a superstar. Knicks Nation, we will say yes. Others will say, that's to be debated. But, who else do they have? I mean, they all play together very well. They do, and it's just like they continue to grow and they know what each other is doing. And it doesn't matter who. I mean, Hartenstein, Mitch at the center position, they seem to be doing very well. Precious Achiuwa at the 4. Now you brought OG back. He can play any wing position, the 4, the 3, even the 2. So he brings great defensive ability. He can hit those corner threes. I mean, DiVincenzo lights out when it comes to the 3-pointers. Of course, JB, you have McBride, who, when he's in there, he's playing with a lot of confidence. Now, Bogdanovic, he seems to be up and down. There's moments he brings great scoring, but he's a liability on the defensive end. So, overall, and then Coach Tibbs with his defensive, awareness and putting guys in the right position. Josh Hart, I can't forget him. I mean, when he grabs his rebounds and he's pushing the ball up the court, forcing the defense to spread out because they're more worried about the wings, which allows him to attack the paint and attack the rim. So, and like I said, on the defensive end, I mean, I was talking last night on my pod. Think about this defense: Mitchell Robinson, OG. You could have Josh Hart, and if you had Miles McBride and Brunson, I mean, defensively, that's tough. Now you can question where they're going to get offense, but when it comes playoff time, the defense is what really steps up and what's helped you. And if you can get the rebounds and the kickouts, and Mitchell Robinson also is a great offensive rebounder, so he helps there too. So, the Knicks will be tough. Are they a championship team? That's a question that you can debate. I don't think we're there as yet, but we have the opportunity, depending on how things play out in the East, possibly getting up to the number 2, or at least playing for the Eastern Conference Championship, depending on how things play out. So,
yep. What is up, NYG? How's it going,
brother?
man? We're playing you guys on Sunday. Can't wait for that. But your Caitlin Clark shirt came in today. There you go. There you go, Chad. And it packs the Thunder 2. What is up, Arco and Wally? Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, Rios, let me bring this back up since you're here. What do you think about the Hall of Fame class? They just announced it. So we got Carter, Billups, Cooper, Simone Augustus, Jerry West, Herb Simon, Doug Collins, Bo Ryan, Walter Davis, Charles Smith, Dick Barnett, Harley Ryden, Michelle Timmons, and what do you think of that?
It's a nice class. A lot of overdue ones for sure.
Yeah. And I still can't believe this is Jerry West's 3rd time getting inducted. That is incredible. That is absolutely insane.
I mean, that's why he's the logo. Truly one of a kind. To have a guy that had an impact on the court as a coach and in the front office. I mean, you don't get that ever in any sport, really.
Right.
Not even
WWE.
Because as a player, he was at best role player.
Who?
Riley?
Yeah, he was a player, but he was not a star player.
No, he wasn't a star. Even when he was playing at Kentucky, he was a role player there. I know they brought him in from New York out of high school to go play at Kentucky, and he was part of that last all-white class at Kentucky. But he was I think he was okay he was okay at Kentucky and okay in the NBA. I don't recall anything that stands out about him. So, what did NYG say? Charles Smith.
Yeah, hold on.
NYG. I said the same thing. It's please not talking about because that's the only Charles Smith that I can think about. And if that's the Charles Smith, I'm like, really? Mr. Can't go up and dunk it and getting your shot blocked by the Bulls multiple times. Come on, man.
Yeah. So Daniel believes that Wemby will get Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't see it.
No.
Who you got?
Reason. Yeah, because basically defense means you stop the team from scoring. His team gets outscored by a lot. It's kind of hard to make an argument to give it to him. Your team has a losing record. Your team gets the most points. It's like tough argument.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Will Rudy Gobert get it for the 3rd time, or will they give it to a rookie? We'll see. But I think they're going to give it to Gobert. I honestly do, even though I want Wemby.
And Wemby, Rookie of the Year, of course.
What is up, AJ? How's it going? Magic
that's
make
pretty
it
much
out
a
of the first
lot.
round. Depends on who they're
Depends
playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the matchup.
Depends on if they're playing who they're playing. If they're playing
Magic.
us, they're losing. If they're playing
Yeah.
the Knicks, probably they'll lose. What is up, David? How's it going, man? How's it going? But yeah, I don't know. I think the Magic will be knocked out, depending on who they will play. We need the Magic to
Yep.
lose to the Bucks.
They play Philly or Miami in the first round. Now, if they were playing a team like Indiana is a team that I don't think anybody they play, yes, they score. They score
Yeah.
like crazy, but
Yes.
we all know in playoff times, defense steps up.
Defense.
And how are they going to handle that type of situation? Because defensively, they don't. And you're going to sit here and you're going to rely on Obi on occasion. He's too up and down for me. But now you have Siakam. Okay, Siakam can get you points. What's his name? Damn, why am I forgetting his name? The point guard. I'm so old.
Currently, they are projected to play the Cavs, and they are on a decline. Well, you need help around Ben Caro.
The Cavs can play. The Cavs can play defense, but yeah. both those teams can play defense. Who's going to stop Donovan Mitchell? Isn't one of the Wagner brothers out? Somebody was just talking. It was on the Spaces.
I think,
They were talking about one of the Wagner brothers is out, and if that's true, if it's who's the one that starts? It's Fran and who's the other one? Come on, Mitch. You're a Michigan man. You should know this.
Yeah, I should know this after what happened to my Michigan Wolverines this year in the college basketball. Jeez.
No, but if this Wagner who starts is out, I don't know. I mean, because teams are going to just pressure and try and keep the ball out of Bancharo's hands, or pretty much, you'll even give them the Zach Edey treatment. Let him do all the scoring and take everyone else out of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we shall see. Well, speaking of big men, Joel Embiid actually got signed by Skechers, and he's the head of the basketball department. Nikki, what are your thoughts on that?
Obviously, it's a big step up for them as a shoe brand now that they're gotten into basketball. And they're not really that big of a sports brand either, because even they got like a few golfers, a few baseball players, but they haven't really done anything to make a huge splash. This is their first chance to make a big splash and get more notoriety behind their name, maybe get a few more sales off their shoes. I think it is good for them, and it's a big step in the right direction, because Julius Randle, he's got a name, but he's not really going to move the merchandise needle. Embiid does it far more.
Yeah. Coach, how do you feel about Embiid signing with Skechers?
For me, Skechers is always going to be. When I think of Skechers, I'm always going to think of Howie Long. Sorry,
Oh, yeah.
Joel Embiid. I mean, I get it. I mean, for the younger generation, I get it. I'm older. I remember Howie Long. Big number 75. I know what he used to do and how impactful. And most of this generation knows him from being on Fox NFL, pregame shows, but you don't remember the player. I do. And he was just as big as Joel Embiid, so when I think of Skechers, that's what I think. But, Joel Embiid, I get it. It's also, in terms of business and marketing, you're also attacking international in Africa.
Yes.
Because, think about that. He's from Africa, and there is a younger generation that looks up to him. So business-wise, it's very smart. I get it. But when I think of him, and I'm one of probably the few, and it's my unpopular opinion, shout out to my brother, I'm always going to think of Howie Long when I think of Skechers.
All right, Rios, how about you?
No, I agree with Coach as far as like a marketing standpoint. It's pretty good because he's one of the few faces on there, so he doesn't have any competition like say like Adidas or Nike. And
Right.
the international side as well. My only concern would be they're not really known for making athletic shoes like for basketball, and for bigger guys, like it's all about your feet. You got to take care of your lower extremities, because if look at Lonzo Ball or those BBB shoes, pretty much ruined his career.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
from a sports standpoint, that's my own little concern, just because they don't have a long history of making basketball shoes. When you think of Skechers, think of like comfortable shoes, or like Coach said, Howie Long. Like you don't really think about athletic shoes in regards to Skechers. So that's my only concern with that.
Yeah, and especially for me, when he was from Under Armour to Skechers, he was always behind Curry. Like Steph Curry, it was owned that brand. He like owned Under Armour. He was the face of everything. And now Embiid is getting a chance to sign. He becomes the face of Skechers. Do you think that will move the needle, get other players involved, like another superstar, perhaps? Could that be the case?
Superstar? No, maybe other lesser known players or guys in smaller markets, like you saw with like some of the guys going to getting the shoe brands from China, like the Anta shoe that D Wade wore for a while and Clay wears, and those other brands. I think the other one that was Ning Ning or something like that. So maybe get some other guys that that aren't as popular, some shoe deals, and kind of help market them a little bit more, in their area, overseas, whatever the case may be.
Nikki, do you see anyone coming over and joining Embiid and Skechers?
At some
You don't have to
point,
name anyone. I was
eventually,
just asking.
eventually it'll happen.
Yeah.
Not sure when.
Well, it depends on how he performs, and with him wearing the sneakers, if it helps his because he has lower extremity issues, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So if they help him, then yes, it could possibly open a door for other players, especially younger players coming into the league. Say, hey, I want to join the Skechers, network, kind of like with kids, a few years ago running in over the Jordan, Kobe. He, even though he was with Nike and under the Jordan brand, he still had his own. They all do that. So, it can open a door depending on how things go with him.
Yeah. And smart move by announcing him when he first came back into the NBA after that injury, after that meniscus injury. They announced it right after tip-off. So I'm like, that was smart. Very good marketing on that part. I like that. He's back in, and you get to see him in Skechers for the future here on out. So great job by NBA for that, with Skechers on that part. Like that very much for my MVP. So, Coach, this one's for you. Stephen A. Smith wants Klay Thompson on the Knicks. Your thoughts?
I mean, I get Klay Thompson. I get the name, the cachet. I understand his intent, but no, Klay Thompson is past his prime. Can he help the Knicks? Yes, but is he going to help them to win a championship next year? I don't know.
Do you have a lot of free agents? Like
yes. I mean, we have to. OG number one is a free agent technically. They're going to re-sign him. You wouldn't have traded away quickly and Barrett without the opportunity of knowing that you're going to definitely sign him. So, the talk is, he's probably going to sign for close to 40 mil, so, okay, that's fine. Bogdanovich, I think he has an option, I believe. They can pick it up to keep him, because he's probably going to be a chip if you're looking for a superstar. Who else is a free agent? Burks is a free agent. Jericho Sims and McBride are already signed. I think Jericho has one more year next year. McBride, I think, has 2 more years next year and the year after that. Julius, we know, is signed. Brunson is signed, even though he's eligible for an extension, like a max extension. I don't think a super max, but a max extension. Randall is signed. Hartenstein. Hartenstein is a free agent. That's the one who, Mitchell Robinson is signed for, 2 more years after this year, but Hartenstein is going to be, what are you going to do? He may have played himself into double digits in 8 figures. So, can the Knicks afford to have 2 centers being paid 8 figures? That's going to be a question. So, but in the same token, if you want to sign Hartenstein and trade Mitchell, for a superstar, that is a possibility. Who am I forgetting? Precious Achua, I think, is a free agent. But I think they can probably pick him up on the cheap. Unless he just says he doesn't want to play for Tibbs, he wants more of an opportunity. Who am I forgetting? The other guys are, they're either two-way players or they're, the 10 days and they just paid to finish out the season. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. So, but yeah, that's about it. So they have work to do, but their foundation. Josh Hart is, you can use him. I think he's still signed. And Devo, we know, is signed beyond this year. So
Yeah. The good thing about Klay Thompson is that he doesn't need the ball. Like, he can move off ball, he can shoot the three, and he'll be a good third option, not just for the Knicks, in my opinion, for my Sixers as well. I feel
don't
like
think
for
he
my
would be a
Sixers,
third.
he could be used right with Nick
For the
Nurse
Knicks. For the Knicks, third option on offense. I mean, I get it, but that means if you have first and foremost, who's he going to supplant? Because when Julius comes back, you re-sign OG and you have Devo. Where is Klay going to? Is Klay going to come off the bench? Now, if you're saying coming off the bench, okay, but if you're talking about starter, is he going to supplant DiVincenzo or OG? I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's something we gotta see. Like for the Sixers right now, with Buddy Hield, he's just coming off his slump. I know we just traded for him. Klay Thompson's a better shooter than Buddy, and we need that with Embiid down low. So I'm just saying for the Sixers, I would take it.
No, I get you. I mean, I'm not. Number one, it depends on the money, and number two, where you're going to use. If he's coming to the Knicks, he's going to come off the bench. I'm sorry, he's going to come off the bench unless you have especially if you get a superstar. Say you get someone like Donovan Mitchell. I mean, for argument's sake, because that's who a lot of Knicks Nation wants. Like I said, he's not going to start over OG.
No.
And you wouldn't start him over Don. So is he going to come here to come off the bench? You have DiVincenzo starting. DiVincenzo is playing lights out. So
yeah, he's playing great. He needs to get paid.
So that's my point. So
yeah, I was just saying for Klay, if he comes off the bench, I can give you like 12 to 15 off the bench.
Now, if he's coming off the bench to do that, I would take him over Bogdanovich.
Yeah, I would too.
But now it's going to be about the money. That's why I understand Stephen A's point. But that's why I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, if he's coming here to start, who's he taking? Because that's the first question you have to ask. Who are you taking out of the starting lineup for him?
Yeah. I don't think Leon will make that move. I don't think so because he built this team from the ground up. He grabbed all those Nova boys. He grabbed like OG and stuff. He built this team right. So if you guys get Klay, I don't know. That chemistry might go down. It's not a good fit, kind of like what NYG said. It's definitely a better fit for us. I agree with you on that. 1,000%.
But I think if Klay goes anywhere, I don't see him coming off the bench because if he's going to come off the bench, he might as well just stay in Golden State. Why go somewhere else? If he's going to leave, he's going to go because he wants to start.
I agree. That's why for me, the Knicks doesn't make sense. Stephen A. Here's the thing, and I get it. Stephen A. is about setting up the pizzazz. That's his thing. He wants that pizzazz. And you know what? Great marketing, great business mind. I get it. I understand. I understand his logic for getting Klay Thompson or wanting Klay Thompson here. But again, it's the question is, who's he going to replace? And, we've all said it, NYG, he's a little over the hill. He's had issues with Golden State, defense. He's not like he was before. But, yeah, he's long, but he's not as quick. Good movement. Doesn't need the ball. He can, on occasion, he can create for a shot. But, again, he's older. And he's not as young and spry. And if you're talking about removing younger guys for him, no, I'm sorry. Devo, to me, is a better player than he is right now. OG is a better player overall. Can Klay probably score better than OG? Yeah, sure. But OG can sit in the corner, hit the threes, and, he can give you 15 points as a starter. but then his defense is intense. I wouldn't
Mhm.
want to remove that. So
I would not want to remove that if I were you either. I'm just saying, if
for you
Clay
guys,
wants
perfect
to
trade.
leave, if he wants to leave Golden State, if he like New York, you guys are keep on saying that's like the mecca of basketball. So maybe he would want to go there to end his career. You never know.
No,
It all
true,
depends on
true,
what Clay Thompson wants.
true. You're right about that. So hey, you might be a better fit for Brooklyn, right, NYG?
Oh yeah, you got the two best shooters, Clay and Ben.
Oh man.
gosh.
Uh,
Oh, don't even get me started on Ben.
no, that was just like I love that. I honestly did.
He's the
So,
greatest scam artist in NBA history, Ben Simmons. He
all
scammed
right,
teams
let's
into
get off
paying
of
him
Ben.
millions of
Let's get off
dollars.
of Ben Simmons. So,
Watch a few games of
Get
the
off of
Magic
Ben.
here.
I'm not on
Pause.
Ben. I'm
Pause.
not on Ben.
Pause.
Pause.
All
All right, John Calipari is leaving Kentucky
Hmm.
to go to Arkansas. Nikki,
I've
how do
been
you feel
short
about this? Let's start off with
this.
you.
Yeah, with this one, I get what Arkansas is trying to do. They've had a few down years, recent years. Before that, they made it to the tournament, but haven't had a lot of luck. But then again, here's the thing with Calipari. Yes, he won a national championship. He's got a lot of wins, but he's also underachieved for the talent he's had, especially in recent years in March Madness. That's why Kentucky parted ways with him. So it's almost kind of low key like somewhat, not exactly, but kind of like a college Doc Rivers in a way that he underachieves in the big games. So it's like Calipari, he'll be an upgrade. I think he'll help, but if they're looking to go to the big dance with him, then I don't think they're going to get that.
Yeah. Rios, your thought on Calipari leaving Kentucky?
I agree with Nikki. Like, yeah, he's had some, huge prospects come to Kentucky and some big name players, and they kind of underachieved considering all the talent they had. They won a lot of games, but not a lot of national titles.
Right. They had that
Like-
one with AD, but then you also had guys like Cousins to Maxey and all the guys in between.
John Wall.
Yep.
John Wall.
And they only got so far.
Didn't he have Jabari Parker too?
Yeah.
There you go. Where's he now?
Like, he's had a lot of big name players, and you would think they'd be a power, winning national championship after national championship, but they really didn't.
Like the college men's Alabama, you'd think, but nope.
That would be, the UConn basically. They've been really successful winning the national championship, much more than Kentucky has recently.
Yeah. And this may have some high school top prospects go to Arkansas just to play for Calipari. I don't know. They might want to go to Kentucky, but I may want to play under Calipari. He has success. He does, not major success, but he has some success in this game. So, he did coach in the NBA too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Nets.
Was it in that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right
he had that
after, I think
experience as well.
he was there after what's his name? Who came from the Pistons? Damn.
Oh, NYG, you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, the coach who won the championship with the Pistons. And who passed away? Not
Oh,
Bill
shoot.
Fitch. I'm forgetting.
Chuck Daly?
Yeah, Chuck Daly.
Yep.
Thank you, Rios. Yeah, he was. I think he was there after Daly, and he took over, leaving the college ranks to go there. So,
Yeah.
but for me, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mhm.
This is a bigger indictment on Kentucky than it is on Calipari. Yes, Calipari is a factor. I'm not going to take that away, But Kentucky believes that because they're quote unquote Kentucky and they're a quote unquote blue blood. Your reality is not real in a sense. Now yes, you can blame Calipari, but Calipari was getting recruits left and right to come there. Yes, you want to debate, he hasn't won championships since, what was it, 2015 it was?
15, 16, yeah.
Yeah, but, I mean, the last, 4 years he's been out early, But prior to that, he made it far. He's been to the Final Four a couple of times and lost. People say, oh well, he only gets young players, but didn't he have an older a veteran team a couple of years ago, and people complained about that, and he went back to, I just think at Kentucky they live at a higher level than anybody else in college basketball. They think because they're Kentucky, they're kind of under the old Adolph Rupp type of prestige, but you don't see UCLA, who, had probably the greatest college basketball coach ever in John Wooden. They won how many championships? They are considered one of the blue bloods, but they don't go around with that persona. And I think that's why he left. Now, should he have stayed and stuck it out and you built this in a sense? Yeah. But I think the fan base and the other issue I heard is the NIL money. He's getting more NIL money in Arkansas, but you're Kentucky. You're supposed to be a blue blood. There's question about their facilities. Some of their facilities are not on par with a lot of the other top level blue blood programs in basketball. So this is what I mean by Kentucky. Your reality is not real because you're not living like you're supposed to be a top level college basketball program, but you want to say we're Kentucky, boast puff out your chest, but yet and still you're not putting your money where your mouth is in terms of that. Because how can as Kentucky be struggling or have limitations on your NIL, but Arkansas is willing to give Calipari what he wants in terms of NIL? You're Kentucky if that's the case. Now, if you don't want to play ball like the big boys, don't go around boasting like you're one of the big boys, because you're not. So for me, it's an indictment on Kentucky more so than on Calipari, because you pushed this man out. You really did. They wanted this man out. Why would you want a man who's getting one of the top recruiting classes consistently? 1, 2, top 5, top 10 consistently? This is and think about all the Kentucky kids who are in the NBA. Yes, you won one championship. I get it. It's about winning the championships. But seriously, Kentucky, you're not spending on NIL, and that's the name of the game right now. You want to get these kids in there, then you got to spend that money. That's first and foremost. And for you to allow Arkansas, because he's going to Arkansas and taking less money. Mm-hmm. Think about that. He's taking less money to go to Arkansas, but he's getting a bigger NIL pocket to go after recruits. So if I'm a recruit, I'm looking at Arkansas now. I'm not looking at Kentucky anymore. I'm sorry. Unless you get one of these top coaches, and I can't see it. The coach from Alabama said he's not leaving. I cannot expect Dan Hurley to leave Connecticut. I'll be honest. The only way I see Dan Hurley leaving Connecticut, when he said his wife wants to be close to New Jersey, if Seton Hall, Princeton, or Rutgers said that they wanted to hire him, then that might be something that he would think about because it's in Jersey. Other than that, I can't see Hurley leaving to go there. Who else is I thinking about? Who else? I mean, I'm missing somebody as a top coach, and that's an indictment that to me on Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly what I was going into before. Calipari made that school what it is. So once he is gone, someone's going to have to fill those shoes. I don't know who that's going to be. I mean, I don't see Jay Wright coming out of retirement for that.
That's who I was thinking on. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. I don't think he's going to come. I think he's fine doing what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need all that stress. So who else is out there? Kevin Ollie? No. Kevin Ollie will not go back there. God, I miss him. I miss him, man. The Sixers legend. But I don't see anybody. Am I drawing a blank here?
I mean, what's your name? Who's on ESPN? The coach? What's it? Damn, the bald-headed guy. Would he come out and take? Yeah, Greenberg. Would he probably? I mean, I could probably see him doing it.
You know who else I could see? He hasn't been a college coach, but he's been ever since he left or got canned by the Warriors. Mark Jackson.
Yeah, but would he? I don't think he would go because recruiting today is so much harder. I can't see him.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. You recruiting now is you not only have to recruit the high school kids, you have to recruit your own kids to stay.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it's hard. And if somebody comes up with another program and says, kid is getting 500,000 at your school, but he hears another school might give him $1 million, what do you think that kid's going to do? I'm putting my name in the transfer portal. Sorry,
I'm declaring for the draft like Bronny.
Yeah, but look, right now, college kids can make good money being in college right now and not have to deal with all that pressure. I'll be honest with you. I mean,
and that's good for the NCAA because now they can keep these guys longer, possibly.
Well, again, it depends on if you're in top 10, then no, you're not going to make money like that in college. But kids who are may go second round. But you can make $1 million in college. You're making $1 million. You're getting free room and board. You're getting all the same nutrition and the training and so on and so forth. You're playing on TV. Plus, you're going to have the girls coming to you all day long. You got the party. Yeah, you got to do class. I mean, I get that. You got to maintain your grade. But some kids, if you're smart enough, you know how to find people who can help you. Get just to get by. As long as you get your C, most schools, you get a C, you're good. And it's I'm telling you from experience, it's not hard to get a C in college. It's not hard. You just nowadays they have the infrastructure set. They got systems that will check for your punctuation and all of that, errors in terms of spelling. They have systems that will check for plagiarism. Literally, and then you know what? You're going to get tutors. So your tutors are literally going to almost damn near write your damn paper for you. So it's like, hello, I don't know.
Yep.
If I was an athlete nowadays, I would love to be in college. I'm sorry, I would.
Right?
I would. I can't lie.
It kind of
was
reminds
more-
me
all
of
this technology.
It kind of reminds me of the movie. I know it's a high school team, but Coach Carter. It reminds me of that as well.
Good one, yeah, Coach Carter. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
my favorite basketball movie. I joke around and say like Space Jam, but seriously, it is Coach Carter. Coach Carter.
I can't. Don't talk about favorite basketball shows because I have to admit mine is Loving Basketball. It will always be Loving Basketball.
That is good.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that in a while, but that is good. I used to joke around and say like Mike, but
Mike, yeah.
I would go with Coach Carter as mine.
No, I get you with Coach Carter. Yeah, that's.
No, it has to be Air Bud.
Everybody.
I'm kidding.
Well, if we're going there, Rios. Hell, I'm sorry. Sunset Park. If y'all have ever seen Sunset Park, that was a good basketball movie or funny, and it was just like really, but it's time to get live, time to represent Sunset Park. What time is it? I still remember that damn song.
All right. Coach, you wanted me to put this into the docket, and that's the Caitlin Clark GOAT status.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start off with you, Coach. How do you feel about Caitlin Clark go to college basketball?
I have been going so much back and forth with it. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's times when you look at one of the biggest downfalls for her is she has not won a championship. A lot of the other so-called GOATs all have championships. I mean, Stewie, Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird. You might question Rebecca Lobo. I mean, we talked about Simone Augustus, Maya Moore. I mean, Cheryl Miller, Lisa Leslie. So I'm sitting here and I'm going through it. But then who was it? They were just talking about, was it yesterday or today? I think it was on Sportsmanlike. This woman has 45 records that she's broken in women in all the college sports. 45. The only thing not on her list, on her plate, is the championships. So if we're basing it off of championships, then No, I mean Dawn Staley is another one. I gotta respect her for what she did at UVA. Coming out of Philly and then going, to the W and what she's did there, as a player. So, my point being is when you sit down and you look at this now, Caitlin Clark has infused the love or the appreciation of the women's game now, both at the college and now going into the WNBA. They just came out today that now Indiana, who's projected to take her, is going to be on 36 nationally televised games. So think about what this girl is doing for women's sport, because women's sports was always an afterthought. The Iowa and LSU game, high level of viewership. Against UConn, high level of viewership. The championship game, 18.7 million views, and at its peak, 24 million, which is on par with the NFL. So it's hard. Where do you classify her? Because she is great. She is, in a sense, a GOAT, breaking 45 records. She's an all-time leading scorer in both men's and women's in terms of points. So no one has gone after Pistol Pete Maravich before her. So it's like, in one regard, I get it. I get because she doesn't have the championships. You go up against Stewie, who has 4 NCAA championships. The Diana Taurasi. You look at all these women; these are multiple championships for most. Lisa Leslie, I think, has 1, if I'm not mistaken, for USC. Cheryl Miller back in the day. I mean, you can go way back in the day and think about some of the great ones that are there. And it's because Mount Rushmore, you only think of 4. But it's like, all right, well, when you put her up against everyone else, she outscored most of all of these people, every last one of them.
Mm-hmm.
She's brought prestige to the women's game. You have to respect that. So it's like in one regard, I get those who don't want to, and I've been going back and forth with myself. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. And I'll be honest with you, I'm still confused which way to go. I really am. It's like I'm even sitting here listening, thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, this girl, all these records, what she's doing. Look at the viewership. People want to see her play.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you say, well, she doesn't win the championships, it's like, and then think about this. Her class, her recruiting class, coming out right now. The only one who's not coming out is Paige Bucher. But think about that. Cardoso was in there. Paige Bucher was in there. Angel Reese was in there. Think about that. Those are some high-level women's, and I'm forgetting a few right now. And now she's number 1. Because coming out of high school, I think she was recruited with like 5 or 6, somewhere around there. And now she's number 1. Man, it's hard. I'm sorry. I'm going on. Somebody else take the mic. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Riaz.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. I forgot the name of the lady that she brought it up. A good point. When she had set those records originally, like back in the day, they used the men's ball. They didn't have a smaller basketball.
Mm-hmm.
They had to use the men's ball. With the smaller ball, makes it a little bit easier to shoot, makes it a little bit easier for them to score. So that kind of takes away a little bit that in the championships. As great as she is, I wouldn't call her to go to women's basketball. It's just some of the changes have been made. It made it easier for scoring. I was just like in today's NBA, they've made it easier to score. Got to sometimes add that to the context of the conversation. And I wouldn't have her as a college basketball player, even with all the accolades.
That's very
So,
real.
you know what does it for me? It gets people who are not fans of women's basketball, get them to watch. I mean, look at Blaze, right? Blaze cannot stand women's basketball. But he watched it because of Caitlin Clark. People I know who don't do YouTube, they watch that game because they want to see her play, and they've hated women's basketball. They're going to watch for this year's, next year, and the year after. They're diehard fans now because of Caitlin Clark. And for me, and when you talk about business-wise, that's more important than championships. yes, championships get you on a pedestal, but what has she done for the game is more than what championships is. Nikki, how do you feel?
I mean, can't think of a bigger name that we know. I mean, I was just doing a little bit of research right there on the Leslie's.
Mhm.
What's her name? Cheryl. What's
Cheryl
her name?
Miller.
Yeah, Cheryl Miller and them. It's like Caitlin Clark is the one who like you said, accomplished everything except the championship, and she was the biggest star in women's college basketball. Yeah, I think it'll be valid one day that people look back on her and say, hey, she's the one who helped pave the way for a launch of women's basketball into the mainstream, both at the college and the WNBA level one day down the line. How far that push will go, we don't know yet, but we definitely know there's a push coming, and Caitlin Clark's played a big role in it.
You know what, guys?
Mm-hmm.
She also has done something that, when you think about it,
Yeah.
she ignites conversation. She has ignited conversation. Look at what we're doing right now.
Right.
And it's not just here with us. This is across the world. I mean, there's international people that want to see her play. So it's like, yeah, she's done so much for the women's game to elevate it. So, and I get what Rios is saying, with the smaller ball, and it takes away, so like I said, I've been going back and forth in terms of her greatness, and yeah, what do you set into, well, not set in, what do you do, how do you come to your point of saying this is a GOAT? What gets you personally, whoever you are, to say this is why I think they are the GOATs of the game? And it's like, if you talk four, and I rattled off so many right now, and it's like, it's hard to sit here and say in women's basketball, who are the GOATs? I mean, if you start with Stewie because she won 4 championships, but is it all about the championships? Maya Moore, look what she did, and I'm forgetting about Candace. Damn, I forgot about Candace Parker. I forgot about what's her name, who was at Tennessee and went and played in the W at Indiana. What's her name? Who's deaf? Oh man, I'm forgetting her name.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like you sit down. I mean, think about the programs. Tennessee always was considered. Sorry about the ambulance, guys. Tennessee, UConn now. I mean, it's like those are probably the 2 biggest ones. Texas, for a while, back when I was young, Texas was always, a top level college program. I'm even forgetting what's her name who played at Louisiana Tech. Damn, Teresa Witherspoon. She was a high level player at Louisiana Tech. They won a championship back in the 80s. So it's like I sit back and I'm like, and then when I go to Caitlin Clark, and it's like, okay, if I take the fact that she hasn't won championships out of the equation, and you look at all the records she broke, these other players have not touched these records. The only thing they all have over her is they were on great teams that won championships. So it's like, okay, well, how what do you set up as the parameters to get to your GOATness? And that's why I'm sitting, I'm like, oh my gosh, because like I said, I just go through them and I'm like, I don't know, because it's only 4. So
yep. I'm gonna bring this to the NBA real quick and talk about Allen Iverson, because what you guys were saying about not winning championships and stuff. Look what Allen Iverson did. People call him the GOAT for what he did for the game, like just for like the what is it, like the gear and stuff, and just like changing the style of the game. People have him as their GOAT because of that. Like there's different aspects of the word GOAT. So
yeah, everyone's definition or reasonings is going to be different, and I can't discredit anyone's, because it's all good, it's all valid. How do we come to it? What's the consensus? It's like, what's the chat saying? Nobody else is saying anything.
I mean,
she's the next star in the making. Caitlin Clark is the GOAT still, even though she didn't get. Oh, damn, NYG above the rim. Okay, bro. She's a great scorer.
She's the
Damn,
next star in the making.
Cheryl Mills scored. Yes, Cheryl Mills scored 105. Remember that? Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
So-
I wasn't around.
Yeah, no, I know. I was. Out of all of you guys, I'm probably the only one who was around during that time. So, because she's, I think, a couple years older than me. So, but still, I mean, it's crazy, man. It's crazy to sit down and think about it. It's.
And we'll be talking about this for years to come.
Yes.
Years and years
Yes.
and years to come. You gotta
But,
give her the nod. Gotta give her the nod. And a lot of people nowadays who are younger generations, they're gonna say that she's a GOAT. But when you look back in the history of it, like what you did, Coach, it's a
hard.
It's a tough conversation to have.
Yes. I don't consider it tough. I consider it fun because I like the debate and sitting down and talking. Like Rios, what he just said, I appreciate that and I like it. And then, and I think about him like, yeah, he's right. But then, like I said, and then I think about, but then she's doing this, she did this. And then it's like, okay, for me, I'm not going to lie. I like the going back and forth with myself because then doesn't that mean there's a level of greatness to her then? Because we're sitting here, it's not easy. Or does that mean because I'm going back and forth with myself, that's even more the reason why she's not a GOAT? Because I have to go back and forth because if you're a GOAT, like NBA, we could sit here and say Michael Jordan, number one, hands down. Some people will say Bill Russell. I'm one of those ones. Some people say Wilt. Some people will not say Wilt. But when you think about the NBA, there's those who you definitely know. Bill Russell, I'm sorry, definitely. Michael Jordan. You want to debate Magic, you can debate Magic, Kobe. But we can go down
Kareem.
Allen Iverson, Kareem, Shaq. But and heck, damn. Now I'm saying in the NBA, it is hard
I
to sit
hate
here and
saying
say.
this, but LeBron. People hate saying that, but
Damn, when you sit here and you go through it, it is hard to come up with a GOAT for me, at least.
it's hard for me too. But for the NBA, I'm going with Kareem. That is mine.
Yeah.
But for the WNBA, and I need to do research and stuff, so I can't say who to go into WNBA or women's college basketball. I can't say because I don't watch. So
But you do now. And
yeah,
kudos to every last one of y'all who did take the time to watch the women's game, though. Seriously, I've been following women's basketball since the 80s, man. My high school
and
days.
Coach is actually going to be streaming the WNBA draft. Isn't that when is
Monday?
that?
Monday,
this
the
Monday.
16th. Yeah, the 16th.
Well, yeah, it's
So-
already set up. Coach Randy, it's already set up.
I
so.
can't wait. I
Yeah.
can't wait. Let's go Liberty. So
Speaking of women in basketball, Hornets are going to interview Lindsey Harding for their head coaching opening. So,
Wow.
for me, I'm excited by this. I'm going to bring up this tweet. I am really excited by this. So, Coach, how do you feel about this one?
Oh, bro, I'm excited. I'm ecstatic. It's well deserved. I mean, she was the number 1 overall draft pick in the W out of Duke. And I remember her. She played for several teams in the W. Definitely hard nosed. I mean, already, she's the coach of the year in the G League for the San Antonio G League team. That says enough right there in itself. The guys have bought into what she's bringing to the table. So that tells you that she is a coach. She's a coach. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. She's a coach, and, Charlotte, if you do hire her, now I don't want it to be a publicity stunt. That's the first thing I do not want to see. It's legitimately, do you think she can help your franchise? It's also good, like I said earlier, she played at Duke. So she has roots in North Carolina. So it could also draw fans to the game itself. And I think that she would do well as a coach in getting guys to play. So, because what she did in the G League speaks volumes to me to be, the coach of the year in the G League. So, but go ahead.
Yeah. Didn't the Spurs hire a female coach.
They had what's her name, Becky Hammond on their
Becky
roster.
Hammond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also did temporarily when Popovich I don't want to say stepped down, but he missed the game. I think she filled in because she was the assistant head coach. So
Right.
she's respected in the NBA. It's just that will somebody give her an opportunity? And I think that's the problem. There's that good old boy network that they're not ready to accept a woman into the game as a head coach. You know, being on the sideline and behind the scenes is one thing, but as a head coach, you are part of the face of the organization with some of your players. So, and I don't know if they're ready for it. That's why, I'm hoping if Lindsey Harding is given an opportunity, she's given a true opportunity to go out and be successful. And then, it will open the door for other women to get a true opportunity, a true shot at being a coach in the NBA, because I don't see why you can't. The game of NBA, it transcends from the pros down to Little League. It's still pretty much the same thing. I love defense, but what's the game about? Putting the basketball in the net. Real simple. So,
Yep.
I'm not an X and O's guy like you guys, like NYG. That's football. But, I can know a coach when I see one, and she's a coach. Go ahead. You got it, Mitch.
So, Nikki, how do you feel about this, man? How do you feel about this?
Obviously, this is an interesting story because, for starters, it's the opportunity to have at the NBA level, not the G League level, but the NBA level, a female coach. And if she's the right coach, good for the Hornets. If they do end up hiring her and she ends up being the right coach. But this is something that makes us realize that it will only a matter of time before we get that day, whether it be Lindsey Harding with the Hornets or somebody else, that we get a female is the NBA head coach and she breaks that barrier. But the thing we also got to consider is make sure if you're going to hire that first, make sure it's the right one, because if the first one does a poor job, that could spare or not set team's mindset back where they might not be willing to take a chance, even if it's an unfair assessment. So it's important that the first one hits.
Rios, how do you feel?
I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm also a little, not sure what the right word to use is. I don't want this. Basically, there you go. I don't want this to be like the Rooney Rule in the NFL, where you have, you basically you have to hire, you have to, interview a black coach before you can make a hire. I don't want it to be that where they, hey, we interviewed a woman, now we can hire, this other guy. It's less qualified. Like I don't want it to turn into that. That's my only concern. But it's big news, especially if she does get hired, she does break the barrier, becoming the first female head coach in the NBA. That's amazing news. But again, I'm a little leery just because of the Rooney Rule that we have in the NFL.
That's a good point, bro. That's a good point, Rios. I like that.
Yeah, and for me, is she going to help the Hornets become better? That's just my question here, because the Hornets need something. I don't know her background. I don't know her coach, her history and all that. So that comes up with the Hornets. If the Hornets take her, I get to watch the game and learn what she's capable of. So kind of wait and see how the Hornets feel or after this interview with Lindsey Harding. Yeah.
Point.
All right, guys. So that's going to conclude the pick and. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let's do the pick'ems for tonight. We haven't done that in the last couple of weeks. No. A lot of games tonight at home. I mean, Grizzlies at Cleveland. Please,
Cavs.
please. I got Cavs. Hornets at the Hawks. Trae Young might be coming back.
If that's the case, I'll go Hawks. They at least got something they're looking
I'm going
to play
Hawks.
for.
Yeah,
No,
Hawks.
Hey, NYG. Oh, wait, Coach, who are you going for?
I'm staying with you guys.
All right. NYG. Raptors at the Nets.
Oof.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Brooklyn on that
I'm
one.
going Toronto. Nikki?
I don't know. Raptors.
Okay. I will be streaming this game, guys, in an hour. Dallas Mavericks at the Miami Heat.
Ooh. I'm gonna go Miami on this one.
I'm going Dallas. I need Dallas to win.
What's Dallas seeding right now in the West?
Seedings wise, give me 1 second.
I
They
think Dallas
are
like
the fifth. They clinched. They're the fifth. Of course, NYG is going Raptors.
I'm going Miami.
Okay.
Because remember, Miami's though they're fighting to get to that 6th spot. So
Yeah.
a lot to play for.
There's a lot to play for them. More, I'm not saying Dallas doesn't, and this is also a preparation for them to prepare for the playoffs. So I'll go Miami.
Orlando Magic at the Milwaukee Bucks.
Ooh.
I don't think Giannis is playing. So I
No,
need
no.
Milwaukee to win, but I'm going Orlando.
I'm gonna go Orlando.
See, this is a catch-22 for me.
Right.
Because it's multifold. Do I want the Knicks to get up to the number 2 spot? Of course, in one regard. But if you go to number 2, look at who you might end up having to play, Miami or Philadelphia.
Right.
Now, if Indiana bumps down into the play-in tournament, then that's a different story. Orlando has the opportunity to also overtake the Knicks, because if they win out and the Knicks lose one game, then Orlando is going to be seeded over the Knicks. So it's a catch-22. And because Giannis is not there, I'm going to go Milwaukee.
Okay. I like it.
Milwaukee just blew out the Celtics. They are feeling confident. And yes, you didn't have Giannis, and you can't sleep on Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis is a nice
He's
fill-in.
so underrated. I've been saying that. If there was an award for underrated player of the year, Bobby Portis gets it.
You still have Dame. Brook Lopez can still hit the shots from the outside. You still have a Middleton,
Connington.
So yeah, I'll go Milwaukee because it's at home. Also, Milwaukee knows the situation. They don't want to lose the number 2 seed in some regards. So I'll go Milwaukee.
I like it.
Watch it come bite me in the ass. Watch.
Nikki, who you got?
Was it Milwaukee and who again?
Orlando at Milwaukee.
I don't know. I mean, I don't really trust the Bucks. And Giannis is out. I'm thinking the Magic might pull off the win here.
So you're going Orlando?
Yep.
San Antonio Spurs at the Oklahoma City
Well, who
Thunder.
you going with, Mitch? You didn't give yours.
I said Magic.
Oh, okay. Okay.
San Antonio Spurs at the Oklahoma City Thunder.
That's easy, Thunder.
Thunder.
San Antonio. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Because Oklahoma City still fighting for the number 1 spot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have something to fight for. So yeah, I'm going OKC.
Nikki.
OKC.
Big game. Big game tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern. Minnesota Timberwolves at the Denver Nuggets.
Ooh, that's the good one right there.
I wish I could stream that.
Is Cat playing?
I think so. He is making his return. I don't know if it is tonight, but he is making his return. I'm going Timberwolves.
I'm gonna go Denver.
I would not be shocked if this is split.
Where's Denver seated at?
The 2 seed in a tie.
Minnesota's 1.
Ooh. I'm going Denver. It's in Denver. They know what's up. They're the champs. Yeah, I'm going Denver.
Nikki?
I'm going Nuggets.
Okay. Wow, I'm the only one who went Orlando.
Yeah.
Timberwolves. I'll take it.
They're going for the little nuggies there.
All right, last game. Suns at the Clippers.
Look, those bums are not going to do anything. Let's go Clips. With Harden making his play, doing his thing.
I don't know who to go with this one.
This is a tough one. They're both struggling, but I'm gonna go Clippers on this one.
I think I'm going Phoenix. Nikki,
Clippers.
I'm going Phoenix. All right, guys. So that's going to conclude episode 66 of the Pick and Roll podcast. Next week, Randy should be back. Blaze should be back next week. So,
All right.
yep. Make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe on all of our channels. Congrats to Rios on hitting 500 subscribers on his channel. Congrats, man.
Congrats, bro.
Appreciate it.
Cool.
And most importantly, we are how many episodes?
3 more away now. We're 3 more away. Okay, Arcool, we're 3 more away officially.
All right, guys. All right. Hey, I'm waiting for someone to make that countdown. Watch it be me. But anyways, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and we'll catch you all on the next one. And peace.